Okay. Let's see if anyone turns up. This is very weird. Leave these on. That's fine. This is tricky. Need to try and figure out how to keep it in line and paint at the same time. Never done this before on stream, so can't quite keep an eye on chat at the same time, if there is anyone there watching. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll get them as soon as I can. But this is just me taking my time, painting these new models, which are absolutely focus on that trim. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. First time I've actually been doing like these trims on models like these. I've been using in the past. I've painted Tyranids, Orcs, none of which have this sort of trim to them. But I've always been a fan of the Emperor's Children. Well, Noise Marines in particular. Back when they were actually. Do I have any other armies? Yeah, as I mentioned, they got the Tyranids, got some Orcs, even got some Tau when they first came out. But they didn't get far in painting. And then I've got other armies for like Warhammer Fantasy Battle, got a Chaos Army there. And also Orcs there. I do have a thing for Orcs. But there's quite a lot of Orc players where I am. So when these guys were announced, I thought I'd join Marines, because this... Well, Chaos Marines, I suppose. This is the first real marine miniature that I've painted. Well, I suppose I've got others here, Yeah, here we go. But this is my first marine army, I should say. Never been fond of the. I'm assuming my voice is working. You can hear me. Yeah, it looks like it is. Never done the Imperial Marines. Never been a fan of the good guys, but the Xenos I've always been a fan of. So as I said, the Tyranids, in particular, would be my latest army, which I got when 10th edition came out. Can I add something to the Emperor's Children? Yes, you can. So say you have. Well, there's two ways of doing it. If it's a normal detachment, which isn't the special detachment for the demons, then you can add up to a quarter, I believe it is. So say you're doing a 1,000-point army, you can have 250 points. Let's try and refocus again. 250 points of demons. But there's an actual detachment, which means you can take up to half of your army as the Cerneshi demons. Now, whether you want to do that or not, I don't know. I personally prefer the Marines over the demons, although I will have a demon prince in this army once it's all done. But I'm a very slow painter. It's really going to be hard to focus on this. I'm using my phone as the camera. I really need to kind of like get to grips with it, which is why I'm just doing a test paint. I'm not really put this out, but anyone's, if there's anything that I can try and do, I will. And I just enjoy painting. It's one of those things. Oh gosh, just trying to keep it in line with everything as well. But I just relax too. Right, I think that's the shoulder pads done. Let's get on to down there on the legs. I know, you kind of like watch other pro painters, shall we say, on YouTube, and it's like magic happens in 2 seconds, and they produce this amazing like miniature which we all aspire to create. And I'm sure it actually takes them a very long time as well, and we just see the highlights. But I'm nowhere in their league. I'm just normal hobby. Am I going to use Agrax to shade the gold trim? No, actually, I'm not going to use Agrax. Where is it? I'm going to be using... Yes, Reichland... Where is it? Hang on. Let's see if I can focus it. There you go. Reichland Flash Shade is what I use as an overall wash, which means it ends up as... Let's see if I can get this. A bit darker, and then it's a silver highlight right on the very edge. Where was I here? So yeah, I'm not, but the Agrax Earthshade is. Do they still do Agrax Earthshade? I've got Reichland and Null Noil. I think Null Noil might be the new Agrax. I'm trying other paints as well. So here I am actually using the Citadel Retributor armor here, but I'll be using the Shining Silver from Fanatic. Is it Army Painter? There you go, Army Painter. For the edge highlighting on this once it's all done. And if I can, have to keep on refocusing on the actual model on the camera. Rather tricky. Yeah, I don't. As I said, I think Agrax Earthshade may have. Oh gosh, I always go off it. I think Agrax Earthshade. Well, I don't know. I'd have to Google it myself. Go onto their website, see if it's still a thing. But this is what I try and do when I have a few minutes to myself, when the family aren't around. How about you? Do you have armies? Do you paint much? Do you play? That's gone a bit wet. Vallejo. Oh, okay. Yeah, Vallejo's got a good name. I actually use Vallejo for the diorama basing for the mud to get this sort of texture to it. And I use Vallejo for the priming as well. Well, I've never tried their actual, the colours, I guess I should say. Admech Knights and Guard. Oh, the Knights. I do like the Knights models. That's one of the reasons I went Chaos. I'm really tempted to add, like, the which one is it? It's the shooty one, not the Carnivore. The Brigand? Is it the Brigand? I think it is. Add that to the army. And as for Guard, my word, I haven't got the patience for Guard. Far too many models to paint there, and all the movement, and that's just not for me. But hats off to the people who do use them. So I think, Imperial Guard on the table, look absolutely fantastic, as do Orcs. But again, with Orcs, it's there's a lot there. I mean, I have got a few Orcs, but they're not all painted. Where am I doing this gold? Got the knees. Sorry if I'm getting in the way. The legs. On the backpack as well. Trying to view my other model, see where I've put it on there. Okay, let's do the backpack. But I've got a few friends here, and we kind of get together. Oh, can't see if I. There you go. We get together. I don't know, maybe once a month, and we all play just small games like 1,000 points. Well, not even 1,000 points at the moment. We're doing about 650 points. And we got our kids playing as well, which is the main reason, give them a place to play. But we get to play ourselves, which is good. But I haven't played with these yet, so I'm looking forward to it. It's just getting hold of the miniatures. All the like the new ones, the Cacophonist, Flawless Blades, all sold out. I was lucky enough to get this, but I got hold of my friendly local store to put one aside for me when it came out. And I didn't do the same, unfortunately for me, for the second wave, with the Cacophonists and the like. And I'm kicking myself now. But I haven't got through all this yet, so hopefully by the time I've painted all these, they'll have some more in stock. Don't think I'll do the face gold. Canister, yes. Oh, 2,000 point. I'd love to play a 2,000 point game. I just literally don't have the time. We take about. How long does it take you to get through a 2,000 point game? I mean, even with these small games that we're having at the moment, we're looking at, like, I don't know, a good couple of hours just to get through them. Getting too thin now, isn't it? Because we're all still kind of, we're not newbies, but it's just we're not playing it every day, so it takes us a while. Especially because we don't know each other's army. I mean, we've got a Drakari player, Necron player, and I don't know all the rules, so they're explaining it to each other, and It seems to take a long time. So how long for a 2,000-point game? That's the question. Butchering this. Can't know if you can see it. Yeah, butchering that there. 2 to 3 hours for 5 to. Wow, that's still pretty quick. I mean, considering we, as I said, it's like 600 points games, and we're taking nearly 2 hours just for that. Let's do something else. Let's do it here. So you must know, the fact that you get through 2,000 points either means having more models doesn't actually increment how long it takes, or you know the rules and you know what you're doing. Oh, off screen again. I have to figure this out. And are you a Tacticus player? Are you one of my normal subs where I do Tacticus content? Or have you stumbled across me because I'm painting Emperor's Children? I mean, I'm happy with either. Hey, well, it's nice to hear. Always nice to have a sub come and say hi. I mean, I didn't know how, if I'll get any viewers for this, so it's nice to see at least one person spending a little bit of time. I know you won't be here for, I don't know how long you'll be here for. I don't know what you're doing. Are you painting yourself? Are you just having 5 minutes to yourself, or? These angles are starting to get a bit awkward. I'm trying to keep it on screen and paint. I've no idea how these professional painters do it. Lots of practice, same as everything. That's one done. Let's get on to that side. Kind of hate it when I'm painting and I see something like this. It's like, oh, didn't file that down enough, did I? Never mind. Just embrace it. Well, I hope you have a nice little break. I'm hoping I'll do a couple of these. Maybe one a week. I'm thinking Tuesday's my best bet for doing these. But I've got some spare time now away from. So I thought I'd do a very quick test. See how it goes. Emperor's Children. I wish I knew. I really wish I knew when. I mean, there's, you've probably got enough characters in there to have them as a Tacticus faction. You've got the Cacophonists, you've got the Lord Exultants. I need to put some more paint on this. Lucius, obviously. But when? Sooner rather than later, I'd certainly hope. But yeah, they don't let us know anything like that. Well, unless you're an ambassador. I guess ambassadors would know more. But they're not allowed to say, obviously. I basically get to find out about new factions literally days before it's announced, if that. Sometimes it's. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Was it the Dark Angels when Azrael was first done? We found out like one day and it was announced the next, and it was like, oh, okay, well, I think it was Azrael anyway. But yeah, we don't get a lot of time. It's getting better, but it is a case of it's not as much as you think. I mean, at the moment, this morning I've worked on the upcoming quest for, who was it? Sapareka, which is coming up on Wednesday. So get your orcs ready. It's going to be bronze. Where's my other one? Oh my god, got the trim. Speakers, done the back. Quite, and considering it's orcs and you've only got those 5 characters, you know, it's a tricky one. So it's quite a fun one to do. I think we're good on that. I think we're going to move across to bronze. Get the weapon done. Weapon bronze. Just headbutt the lamp. And on this, what I found I did last time is I just go over the whole thing. I try and avoid the pipes, but I just go over the whole thing. This nice colour, nice weapon bronze, I think it's called. Weapon bronze. Where is it? There you go. Weapon bronze. It gives a nice little, not a massive contrast to the gold. I think I've done it too thin with the water, unfortunately. G135, I think you should be fine. It's a bit of RNG. If you've got all 5, you'll be fine. If you're missing a couple of them, it might get a bit tricky. But if you've gotten to gold, I'm guessing you've been playing a while, so I reckon you'll be fine. It's just a case of, oh yes, get what's his name? You think, you know, doing all this content, I'd remember their names, but there's so many names to remember. Runt herd. I always call them runt herd, and I always have to edit it afterwards. It'll come to me. You're going to tell me before I remember this. Oh god, it's going to bug me now. What is he called? Snotflogger. There you go. Did you get it before me? No. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, Beastsquig. Beastsquig. Hang on. Which one do you mean? Snotflogger or the one who rides on the squig, who is Tank Smasher? Yeah, Tank Smasher is needed for some of them. In fact, you know, there's a couple of missions which restrict it to not using physical weapons, and he is very much needed. Oh, I should have done some gold trim around that canister. Never mind. Always find things I miss. But yeah, so it's a good little quest, this one. There's a bit of RNG, but don't they all? But that's what I was doing this morning anyway, in regards to content. And, you know, I was doing it this morning because I haven't had it for very long. Tank Smasher, yeah, you try and get him to like silver, or, you know, if you can get him to gold, even better. But certainly silver 1 will help. But it's only a quest. It's one of those things that it's nice to get the extra drops, but if you miss out on them, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I know a couple of people now who've got, like, you know, really end game people who've got, let's just say they put a bit of money in the game. They don't even bother with getting 100% on those quests anymore, purely, let's see if I'm still focused, I'm losing it. And purely because it's a case of they just want the last one. So complete, get to the last one, just work on that. Which is fine, which is fair enough. I'm not there yet. I need everything. And we're coming to the end of this battle pass, so the next battle pass will be out, and just before the next battle pass comes out, we'll have a look at what's coming out. Well, content creator as well. Who knows? Maybe Emperor's Children are next. Would be nice. What's the plan for the Shade of Purple Armor? Well, so basically starting with... Ooh, where is it? Genestealer Purple. Start with that again. Right-click Flash Shade. Then I highlight again with a highlight back to Genestealer Purple. And I haven't figured out what final highlight's going to be. I kind of like it how it is, but I'm thinking I might need to go a bit lighter to make it pop. Haven't quite figured that bit out. But I might just stop there. You know, it's a case of sometimes you can do too... Well, I think sometimes you can do too much. Or maybe the indecision can ruin it, because you're like, oh, just do a little bit more, and then it's like, oh, no, I wish I didn't do that little bit more. Which is why I'm getting all base coated first. This is my first step. It's get them base coated, get them washed, do the first lot of highlights, and that's like my first stopping point. Now, the other side of this weapon. It's very tricky talking and painting and keeping it on screen all at the same time. I hold it there. Oh, put too much water in there again. And sometimes I wonder, why do I do this bit here? Nobody's ever going to look at that side of the model. Why do I bother? It's definitely too watery. You can try to mix a warm off-white like bone colour mixed with purple. Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. Get a nice little highlight off that. I'm kind of, I am going for a clean look rather than a dirty look. I like to think the Emperor's Children are like one of the, orcs get away with the grime, the Nurgle lot. Oh dear, that's gone there. Never mind. The Nurgle lot love a bit of grime, but I like to think the Emperor's Children would take pride in how they would look. So yeah, having a nice little white bit to make it finish nice and warm is a really good idea. How are we looking? What do we need? What's going to be that colour? Oh, here's Emperor's Children emblem. Yeah, I mean, I've got that's a matte white. I have got... Yes, I have literally got an off-white. There you go. Where is it? There it is, off-white. So yeah, mix that in with the purple. That might do really well. But yeah, as I said, at the moment, it's all a case of let's get the base coat on and, make them presentable on the battlefield. And I wish I was a better painter. I'm a bit sloppy, but I take my time. I do what I can. I enjoy it. You know, I like sitting down, having an hour to myself, just focus on the paint flowing. It's kind of, I don't know, my happy space, I guess. So that's the wings, done the missed a bit. Weapon. What else have I done on that bronze? No, I think that's it. It's coming along. Need the green for his that. Need that. I need to go back to the gold for that, don't I? Yeah, gold. Back to the gold. And then I'll make these canisters have the green glow, which I use this X-Wraith. It comes out a lovely green colour on top of a nice white. Didn't do anything there. Ooh, all the sins that are hidden underneath. Just mix them together, no one will notice. Not on the battlefield, anyway. How are we doing on the leg? Oh, that side of the leg. Didn't notice that one. Oh, is it about there? That's too much paint on there as well. The one thing I really need to do is get myself a nice, like, what do they call it? The Kolinsky sable brush. Because these, I don't know if you can see, can it focus? So look, this is a synthetic brush, and they always get these little kinks in the end, which I understand is a little flaw of the synthetic, and you can sort it out with, well, I read recently you can sort it out with hot water, so I'm going to have to give that a try. But sometimes, weirdly, that little kink helps when you're painting certain, like, hard to reach areas, because you just get that kink in there. Also, you know, painting Emperor's Children, it's got to be a bit kinky. A Raphael 8 for it? Yeah, I've heard of the Raphaels. Now, is that a helmet he's wearing, or is it like the other guy? I think he's like the other guy, isn't he? It's his skin. Done him as like his black skin, which probably paint over. I think this guy's going to be the same. Might not go black for him, but... Or I've gone back to bronze for that. Okay. Tongue's going to be a different colour. Oh, there. Let me get that. Don't use natural fur on metallic paints. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Did not know that, so thanks for that. But as I said, I haven't got one of those brushes at the moment. But that is something I will remember. Thank you. as I said, getting one of those brushes is one of those things on my to-do list, but I'm not really that concerned. I've managed to do without them for a while. And I'm sure they're lovely to use. I've probably been more worried about ruining them though. And as I said, I didn't know about that metallic paint thing about them. Yeah, I sometimes do the same. You can see a bit on the nail. All depends how I'm going with the paint. It really does. I think I need to do something with that face on the back of that. Don't know whether to make it silver. I think silver, because I do the silver on the weapon at the front. So maybe silver. I don't really want to make it a flesh tone. Has he got any flesh on this guy? No, he doesn't, does he? Black there, okay. Let's go for... what should I do next? Let's do the white. Get that. No, not the off-white there. Main white. I mean, part of me thinks I should like do all the gold, because I've got all these other ones. So, sitting waiting. There's another one here. Where is it? Okay, can't do it. There's one there. And I've got my other guys. Oh no, hang on, he's another noise marine. I've got my normal troops. But I like mixing it up. Keeps it interesting rather than just doing one colour all the time. And this white is where I probably should have done this first before I went on to the gold. All goes in the grills. Ready for that hex wraith, which will go on top of it. And I like a nice solid white coverage for that. Because otherwise it doesn't seem to work as well. I think it's not quite, I think it's a bit too dry, that. There you go. Come on. Apologies for the coughs. A little bit ill, nothing major. Whilst I edit them out as much as I can on my Tactica stuff, I can't do it when I'm painting. OSL effect, hardly. I mean, this is what it ends up like. I mean, maybe a faux OSL, but it's nowhere. Oh, come on, camera. No, you're not focusing. No, it's not wanting to focus. Maybe if I go closer. Yeah, it's not really OSL. It just goes over it. It doesn't look terrible, isn't it? But it's certainly not OSL. Well, not my view of what it could be, anyway. I haven't tried OSL properly. Maybe something to try on one of the character models for this. Oh, set myself up there. People are going to be wanting to see that now, aren't they? Great. But you've got to try these things, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, but that's fine. Okay, that's going to be... a pin wash? What's a pin wash? I've not heard that term. Come on, get in there. Good. I'm intrigued what a pin wash is. Might have to Google it. Yeah, I've not heard the term pin wash. It's on screen. Yeah. I was looking around my phone for a second then. Of course, it's one putting the camera on. Pin wash like a kind of wash on deep part. Oh, okay. Never heard of that terminology. Thank you. Where's my other one gone? Here it is. So that's the white. Done the white on the back. What am I going to do? No, it's going to be silver on that. Silver there. Ooh. I just missed that whole section on that. On the back of his heel there. Yep. Yes, I did. Okay. Right. What we're going to do next, we're going to do is, I might just do that quickly. Now, one thing I am a fan of, these contrast paints. Oh, wrong side. Absolutely love them. A couple of colours I like. Green is one of them, and that's what I use for the tabards. You know, these bits down here. And the Black Legion is another one. I like the darker colours. Although I've heard good things about the things like the yellows, but I understand. Oh, that's far too. I understand that you need a really good white for like yellow and the brighter colours for it to work. Whereas green and the black, you can kind of get away with it, and it'll, you know, it's going on just a bit sloppy, and I'll go over it again later. And yeah, I just take it straight from the bottle. I've never had any issues with these. Absolutely love them. More of an issue me getting in there. Oils or enamel? That's something I've never tried. Not sure I'm brave enough to go for oils and enamels, not yet. I mean, I think I've seen other people do it, and it can look absolutely amazing. Because I think I've seen it with, maybe this is what you were referring to. I've heard about the pink for the yellow, yeah. With the pin wash, I've seen people use what I believe is an oil to like get into those, and white to get into those recesses, because it just flows in, and it's, you know, got such a high pigmentation, or maybe that's the oil itself. It just works wonderfully. But yeah, the pink, painting something pink for yellow, yeah, I've heard that before. Not something I've tried. I haven't really painted yellow that much, I'll be honest. Where is this? Oh, there it is. Can you? Did I really just miss all of the back of that? Look at that. Look at all that I missed on the back of his gun. On the back of the noise, you know, the sonic blaster. completely just missed it. Got sidetracked probably somewhere along the line. Is that what they do? They never show you that bit. I've never seen the gloss varnish go on first. They just show you going it over and it just pools, goes in really nicely. Sounds like you know what you're doing when it comes to painting. I like this. And that's why I'm doing this, it's so I get to learn. I mean, I've been painting miniatures. I've been playing this for a long time, these games, since, when was it, like the 80s. I've painted for a long time, but I've just never spent as much time learning how to paint as I did, playing the game. And it's only now that I'm starting to do various things, like a number of these models have got alternative heads. Well, not the Noise Marines, I like those, but if I go back to the Tormentor here, this head, 3D printed head there, just because I like the hat, very sort of Japanese only style. Where's the other ones over here? I haven't painted these guys yet. Well, not the heads. Again, you've got the slight horns going on there. Again, that's not the standard head you get with the Emperor's Children. There's a lot of the heads I don't like in Emperor's Children, unfortunately. So yeah, I ended up getting some different ones printed. And again, the bases. This is a free 3D printed base. Either got it off Cults 3D or on My Mini Factory as a freebie. But yeah, I'm kind of like trying different things. Where is it? Oh, he hasn't got any on that one. But as you can see, it's like here you go on this one. Where is it? There you go. You can kind of see it's half and half. Oh, is it going to focus? Come on, phone. There you go. Kind of get a nice little half and half thing going on. Cult of Paint. I think I've heard of them, but I've not heard of Vince Venturella or Night Shift. So I will certainly give them a look. Who's the one I follow? Toyvarian, I think it is. He is very good though. Bit too good, but it's something to this is why I thought I'd do something, because there's a lot of really good painters out there. And they make it, actually I wasn't going to do that colour, and they make it look really easy. And for them it is. They've been doing it a while, and they've got this fantastic, amazing setup, and they paint something and it's all of a sudden, ta-da, this is what it looks like at the end, and you're like, that's amazing. But I thought, I'm not them. I think if I can paint something, and even if I inspire one person out there, I've only got you really with us at the moment. Oh no. Then I'll be happy with that. Yeah. Okay. I think that's dry. I hope that's dry. But the one thing I'll say for all the pro painters out there, they do encourage everyone to paint. And, nothing... If you put effort into painting, I fully believe everyone should take, pride no matter what their skill level is, because it's a personal thing. And it's one of those hobbies where you only do just get better. I mean, my son's painting, and he's really put off because he doesn't think his is any good. And I keep saying to him, like, it's good because it's like your second miniature. Don't worry what other people's miniatures look like. Just focus on your own. Take your time. It's not a race. And that's the biggest thing. He wants to be first. But I guess that comes from being a child. He's only 11. Do I do that bit? Yeah. If you don't want to feel bad, don't watch Richard Gray things. Richard Gray? Don't know who Richard Gray is. Do I want to go with that? I do want to do one of them. Let's do this bit. Oh yeah, I mean, again, it's one of the things about pro painters, and well, anyone who paints, you'll look at your own miniatures and you'll be like, oh, hang on, I missed that bit. Oh, that bit's terrible. What was I thinking doing that? Then someone else will look at it and be like, my God, that's amazing. How did you do that? And you're looking at it and going, are you looking at the same model? Are you looking at the same model I'm looking at? Because, I can see all the faults. I've forgotten what I was painting now. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was going to do the face, wasn't I? That's what I was going to do. That's why I got the silver, right? I was like doing all these other bits silver, going tum-de-tum, get all this done. I finally realised why I got the silver out is actually to do this bit. Look, John Blanche is absolutely amazing. And I think the people who can paint like he does, and they like that style, is fantastic. However, it's not my style. But I'm more than happy to look at other people. It's like, I've never been a fan of the Nurgles. Death Guard. Nurgle Death Guard? I always get these confused. Death Guard? Yeah. Yes, Death Guard, not Death Watch. I think they're great models, but I'd never want to paint them. And I think that's what drew me to the Tau initially. It'd be nice, clean. You like the more grimy stuff. As I said, I can look at some of the fantastic like Golden Demon stuff I've seen when it comes to Nurgle. I think there's so much potential there in Nurgle. It's amazing. But for it to look amazing, you really, it's not like you can slap anything on. You have to work really hard for it to look that amazing when it's supposed to be that grimy and dirty and people who can pull that off, completely hats off, but I could never do it. Well, not that I could never do it, but I'd find it extremely difficult. Never like saying never. That's going to go there. That's going to be that. Oh, that. Yeah. Some of this piping done as well. Because there is a big difference between grime that looks, well, I can see what you're going for, sort of grime, and grime which is just like, okay, you've just knocked out of the park and just redefined how to paint these things, which are, a lot of painters do when they go for that sort of style. But all it is practice, isn't it? The more you practice, the better you get. Okay, black. And I probably should be rinsing my brush more often than I do, I'll be honest. Okay. How are we going to do this? Which bits are we going to do black? Okay, let's go with the backpack first. And this is that black Templar black I was talking about earlier. Absolutely love it. Takes a couple of layers, but it's lovely and thin, and coverage is absolutely amazing. I've got nothing wrong, got nothing against it. When it comes to getting nice coverage or something like the purple, it's a couple of layers to get that as it was. And airbrushes, I probably should, practice with an airbrush. Probably make the first couple, the first layer where I've got it all purple would probably make that so much quicker. Weathering. Oh, yeah. Do you use like the weathering pencils? Or the dust? Because again, something on something that big, that weathering can really make a difference. How are we looking? All that. Oils, enamels, and pigments. Ah. See, I've seen these pencils, and I'm intrigued. I really am. I'm not sure I'd use them on this army, but maybe if I buy a rhino. A lot of work. Two-tone chopping. Oh right, when you say chopping, do you mean like slap chop, that one? Because that's how I painted my Tyranids, and I painted them very quickly. I'm a fan of slap chop. Where else? I see all that. Whoopsie. Oh well. Need to get into there. There you go. Right. Oh well, it's on his hand, so let's make that hand black. Use pigments cheaper than weather and pencils. Oh, okay. Well, as I said, maybe if I get a rhino, or when I get a rhino, because I think getting a rhino for transport, because there's a detachment purely for. Here we go. Let's just go with this hand. There is a detachment in the Emperor's Children, which is a vehicle detachment. Maybe I'll do something. Maybe I'll try something with that then. So what I'm doing here, I mean, they're not all, the armour isn't purple. I've got a mishmash of colours. It's black and purple is what I'm going for. The faction, if you will, that I'm basing this off of the Children of Torment, who are black, purple, gold, and they're like an offshoot of, the Emperor's Children and the Black Legion. So it's a case of just picking out bits and pieces where I want to go black instead of purple. I kind of keep the purple there because I just do a thin coat of the black, so you kind of get, it's not just black, and then you edge it, with grey, so it isn't just a flat black, because that's just boring. Nobody likes a flat black. Yes, well, unfortunately, I can't have a dreadnought in the Emperor's Children army, which is mildly frustrating. His feet. But I would like to add one, like sonic weaponry on a dreadnought would be amazing. But yes, if there was a dreadnought, I'd certainly be tempted to kit bash it with like one of the Horus Heresy ones. Okay, let's do this. My son loves his dreadnoughts. He's got two of them now. One, I don't know what they're called. They're the Imperial ones, but I know. Hang on, remember? Yeah, no, I do remember them. It's Ballistus and Brutalis. He's got one of each. He absolutely loves them. We're looking. How is this looking? So that's going to be facing forward. We've got the purple. I think I'm going to have to do the other shoulder pad. Oh, maybe that bit. Maybe this gorget. Ooh, maybe. Shy. Yeah. Yeah, that makes his head pop a bit, maybe. I don't know. What colour though? What colour am I going to do his skin? I'll figure that out. Might do that. Yeah, let's do the outside of that. Might be going overboard on the black, but I can always go back over it in purple. I think it was a Bob Ross that says there's no such thing as a mistake. How's he looking? Yeah. That's looking good. I like that. Oh, well, he's on the back. And the tongue. What colour for the tongue? Maybe red for the tongue. Yeah, definitely red for the tongue. That's fine. No, that's all right. Still black. It does knock. That's fine. Is this going to go straight over purple? Let's find out. So this is Blood Angels red, another contrast paint. Yeah, there you go. Yes. There. I do like adding touches of red. I mean, I've got the red helmet on that guy I showed earlier, and the tassels all tend to be red. The cloth tends to be green, as does the little things here. He doesn't have any tassels on him, unfortunately. Oh, I'll tell you what, that little pendant can be red as well. I mean, there's something in colour theory, I believe, where it's like you choose a couple of colours and you stick to them for the majority of the miniature. And then for the other parts of the miniature, you just choose one colour or two colours, however many colours, as long as there's not too many, I guess, and just have them dotted around, just to kind of like give some kind of, I don't know, something that pops on the miniature. Yes. Right, let's do some Hexwraith green. Don't know what I'm going to do with his head yet, but I think, don't know how long I've been doing that. Oh, 7. Good grief, yeah. I'm just going to finish off on this green. And I might have to call it there. Go and grab myself some food. Come on, focus, focus. Why are you not focusing, mister? Don't give up on me now, camera. Come on. How long has it been not focusing for? There you go. I love this. I call it Hexwraith green. I just love the effect. The eyes, as if the whole thing's like. Don't know why green. It could have been any colour. I'll go over the gold a bit as well. But I just absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Tried it on Skaven first. Oh, that's another. It's not an army. I've got a couple of Skaven. For the Warp Stone. I'll have to go with that again. And it looked absolutely phenomenal. Just go with the highlight bits. Let's give them a bit of colour. So yeah, I fell in love with this Hexwraith. Green has yellow. I guess that's true. Can't deny that. Green has indeed got yellow. I'm not sure what. Oh, I see, because of the gold. Is that what you mean? But yeah, I fell in love with this Hexwraith. such a, what is it? It's opaque colour. Opaque? No, that's the wrong word, isn't it? It's translucent. Maybe that's the right word. But you build it up a couple of times, you get this lovely effect. Yes, gold is yellow. Yeah, I see. Yeah. So that's why it goes well together. Yeah. Getting there on the second one. As I said, I'm not a fast painter, but I just love the process. And as I said, sitting down, having a chat. I know it's only been you and me, Belly, so I do appreciate you being here. It's been really nice. So I will be doing these in the future. Painting more. It's just a way of getting down, sitting, painting, really. Probably on a Tuesday. I think Tuesday's my best bet. My son goes off to his guitar on a Tuesday. So after I finish work, he's at guitar. I can sit down and paint some of these. So thank you very much for keeping me company. And maybe I'll see you again.